Hi everyone, it's John at Cordon Real Estate and it's March 5th, 2021. Welcome to the North Bay Real Estate Roundup. Today we're going to talk about two subjects. We're going to start by looking at some national and regional real estate market statistics, and then we're going to talk about a new fire hazard disclosure form that is required for some sellers as of January 1st of this year. We'll get to that in a minute, but first let's look at some of the numbers. Now, a very important number that is a great indicator of what's going on in real estate markets, especially here in the North Bay, but nationally also, is that sales of new construction homes are up 19%. So what does that mean? Well, it means that more people are buying homes in subdivisions, brand new construction, and it is an indicator, or actually a result of the fact that there are fewer homes for sale that are existing homes. So people can't find existing homes because, as we have been discussing for the past few weeks, there are not a lot of homes on the market, not a lot of homes for sale. So buyers, which are looking for homes, are turning more to new construction homes. Now, another interesting number is that in new construction, the cost of materials has been going up significantly nationally, especially lumber. And on average, for the average home, they estimate that the cost of materials alone has gone up $24,000 to build an average home. And that $24,000, of course, is being passed on to the buyer. So as people are looking at new construction, they're going, hey, a new construction home, I can order it customized a little bit. And I know that the seller is going to give me some warranty because they have construction crews that can come in and fix things. However, that cost is going up. Materials cost is adding $24,000 on average. Of course, it could be different for the home you're looking at. You have to take them on a one-by-one basis. Now, so what do we see going forward through the summer? Well, as we have predicted over the last few weeks, in surveys conducted by the National Association of Realtors and the California Association of Realtors, realtors, and those are not realtors with a small r, realtors with a big R. In other words, realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors who are responding to these surveys, kind of echo what we've been saying here the last few weeks, and that is that we're going to see less sale activity this late winter and spring and perhaps this summer, but we are going to see prices go up a little bit, but we're going to see fewer listings. So we'll see how that pans out. But those are some interesting numbers that, again, nationally, and that we believe are going to affect the North Bay going forward. So let's look at the new home hardening disclosure that is required in the state of California as of January 1st. This new disclosure is called the Home Fire Hardening Disclosure and Advisory, CAR form HHDA, just Home Hardening Disclosure and Advisory, HHDA, CAR meaning California Association of Realtors. So if you're working with a realtor, again, big R, not little r, a member of the California Association and the National Association of Realtors, they have this form available to them. How is it used? Well, it is required by the state of California starting January 2021. Home sellers do have to provide this simple one-page form to potential buyers, along with all the other disclosures and advisories that sellers provide to potential buyers. So who actually must provide this? Well, if the home is 10 years or more older, and it is located in a high or very high fire hazard zone, then this form is required to be given. Now this applies to homes that are 1 to 4 units. So if you're talking about selling a single family home, it applies. If you have a duplex, a triplex, a quadplex, you do have to provide this form. If you're selling a condo or an apartment, you have to provide this form to potential buyers. As always, consult with your broker, hopefully a big R realtor, regarding your property's requirements. Now, what is disclosed actually on the form? Again, it's a one-page, very simple form, not a lot of inputs, but the first paragraph, it describes, as we just went over, who must provide this form, which is obviously whoever is providing it from a seller's point of view. Where is the fire hazard information that will be most helpful to potential buyers, and then if they become owners, to them. And this is not information about the fire hazard zone exactly. We'll talk about that in a second, but it's the information provided talks about how to harden your home against fire hazards. Very interesting information. If the property is in a high or very high fire hazard severity zone, there's a box there to check which one it is. And now, if you don't know if your home is in a high or very high fire hazard severity zone, when your broker orders for you, if you're a seller, an environmental hazards disclosure, all the companies that produce those reports here in California, they provide information on whether or not the home is in a flood hazard, a fire hazard, whatever. So in order to fill out this form, you need to, or should, get a environmental hazards report, and your broker can help you with that. This form, and probably the bulk of it, discusses hardening features that are in place, and we're going to go over a couple of those in a minute. You actually, though, get to the opportunity to say which hardening features are in place. You also get to disclose, and again, a simple check of a box, yes or no, if a fire hardening final inspection report is available. And if you have hardening features in your home, you definitely want to talk to your broker about who the local person is that can provide that inspection report, because it can be a marketing tool for you. So, what are home hardening features? Well, one of them is certainly vents that are flame and ember resistant. Most homes have vents either along the bottom of the exterior, if you have a crawl space or anything underneath, and those vents let out any gases. Make sure also that underneath the home gets ventilation so it stays dry. There's also ventilation vents if you have an attic or a small area above your ceilings. There are vents there. The covers of those vents should be flame and ember resistant, look like a tight grill, and they keep embers from flying in. And that's how a lot of homes end up catching fire, is that flying embers just simply are carried on the wind. They can go a mile, sometimes two, depending on conditions. And they eventually do fall to the earth, and if they make their way inside a vent, they are now in your home. They'll probably land on something flammable, and a fire will start. And another feature that is a good idea to have are non-flammable roofing materials. And if you do have an older home with untreated shake wood or any other kind of flammable material, do recommend you replace it. In this disclosure, you're going to have to disclose whether or not your roofing is flammable or non-flammable. And again, just with the flying embers, a lot of flying embers are going to land on a flammable roof. Boom, a house is on fire. Now, landscaping near the home, you want to be flame resistant. In other words, not a lot of, let's say, wood structure that's holding up your plants, whether it's big stakes or any kind of lattice material. That's made out of wood. You want to have flame-resistant landscaping within 5 feet of the home. And also, in general, you don't want shrubs or flowers or anything touching your home. And this is not from a flame-resistant point of view, but a general home care rule is unless it's ivy that you specifically want growing on a brick wall or some other material as a decorative plant, you don't want flowers or shrubs touching your home. It wears off the paint, stains the home, and gets the home dirty. You always want nothing touching your home. With windows, you want dual pane tempered glass. There are different types of glass that have various ratings for resistance to heat and fire. You want to get the best you can. And also you want to make sure your roof flashings are well sealed. Now, if you're not familiar with what a flashing is, if you have a chimney or a vent coming out of your roof, you'll often see it looks like a piece of sheet metal that's around that chimney or vent. And most of the time you'll see that it has been sealed with some kind of a tar. It's just like caulking an opening, let's say around a sink or a bathtub. You want to make sure that that flashing has been sealed so that embers can't get up underneath it. You also want to have covers on your gutters. And the end game here is you do not want leaves and sticks and other flammable materials gathering in your gutters that are flammable. And again, flying embers could land in your gutter, start those leaves on fire, boom, the house is on fire. So getting gutter covers, and there's several different types. Having one that specifically keeps your gutters clear, keeps out anything that is flammable, does need to be disclosed, and it's a feature you want on a home anyway. So how does the disclosure benefit buyers and sellers? If you're a buyer, it obviously tells you whether or not the home is in a fire hazard area, but it also tells you what has been done to harden that home. Because as a buyer, if you're in a high hazard district, you want to make sure that it is hardened. And when you're looking at how much the acquisition of that home is going to add up to, how much the total cost will be, you'll want to look at not only what you pay for the home, but any immediate repairs or upgrades you want to do. And putting in fire hardening features is definitely something anyone should do when buying in a high hazard area. Now, if you're a seller, you want those features in place not only for the safety of the home, but also having them in there enhances the property value over other homes in the area that may not have these features. Even if you are not in a high or very high fire hazard area, you might want to talk to your broker about having this disclosure in your disclosure package as a marketing material, because if you are 1, even 2 miles away from a high hazard area, as I mentioned a minute ago, embers can fly 1 mile, 2 mile, depending upon the conditions and the wind and so forth. So even if you're not directly in one of those areas, having those features could help to increase the value and the attractiveness of that home to your potential buyers. So that's a quick overview of the home hardening disclosure. And that's the information that we have this week on what's going on in the market. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, including anything that you would like covered in the next North Bay Real Estate Roundup. I hope you liked the presentation. If you did, please like and join us next week by subscribing. And do join us next week for the next North Bay Real Estate Roundup. Take care.